like to be thereabout, even in developing countries like Nigeria. So why movement? One of the most important things we can do to help protect our mental health is regular movement. Now, our bodies and our minds are connected. So looking after ourselves physically also helps us prevent problems with our mental health. Exercise releases feel-good hormones that reduce feelings of stress and anger. It also helps us to feel better about our bodies. It can improve our sleep too. It involves other people, like being part of a team, a class, or a group, as we see regularly, that can boost our mental health. Now, despite these benefits, so many still struggle to move enough. We know there are many different reasons for this. So this Mental Health Awareness Week, we want to help people find moments of movement in their daily routines. To help guide us in the conversation today, we have two distinguished speakers. One of them is Dr. Tomiwa Samson Fasoro, who is a medical practitioner with EHA Clinics at our Abuja location. You're welcome, Dr. Tomiwa. Please say hello to our audience.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning. And of course, the very handsome gentleman, our very own Mr. Mayakun Okono, who is our CEO, who is the CEO of Body Rocks Fitness. Good morning, Mr. Mayo. Thanks for joining the conversation.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, and thank you for the compliment as well.
You're welcome. All right. So please note down your questions as we go through the session, either in the Q&A section or Zoom, or of course on our YouTube channel. We're streaming live on YouTube and on Zoom now. And then please kindly share this link with anyone you think could benefit from this webinar. Thank you once again for joining the conversation. And let me quickly hand over to Dr. Tomiwa. Dr. Tomiwa, please share your screen and the floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning once again. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yeah, sure. Go.
Okay, good morning and welcome everyone, and thank you for joining this presentation on medical approaches to mental wellness, integrating mind and body. My name is Tomiwa Fasoro Samson. Today we are going to explore the various medical interventions available to support mental health, and how these approaches can be integrated with lifestyle changes to create a holistic plan for well-being. While I dwell on the medical approaches, I know Maya is going to dwell more on the physical movement part. And by the end of this presentation, you will have a better understanding of the different treatment options, their applications, and the importance of mind-body integration in achieving mental wellness. So following this outline. Mental wellness, mental wellness is not just the absence of mental illness. I need to emphasize on this because most of the time when people hear mental health, what used to come to people's mind is, oh, mental illness. But the truth is, it is actually a state of well-being in which we cope with life challenges. It is a state of well-being where we feel connected to others and live a fulfilling life. Mental wellness is multifaceted, influencing every aspect of our lives. And just like physical health, it can fluctuate throughout our lives. And it's important to prioritize our mental well-being and take steps to maintain it. In essence, it's just an essential part of the overall health and well-being. It has different dimensions, which includes our emotional, psychological and social well-being. It affects how we think, how we feel, how we act, how we work, how we carry out our responsibility, how we go on with our family. So when we are talking about mental wellness, it's not necessarily means it does not necessarily means mental illness. So it also determines how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. And why is mental health awareness very important? Globally, an estimated 1 in 8 people live with a mental health condition, according to the World Health Organization. And it will surprise you that in Nigeria alone, over 60 million people are reported to suffer from various mental illness, according to Nigeria Mental Health Association. And like I said, mental health condition can lead to decreased productivity, strained relationships, and physical health problems. And we talk about mental health and mental awareness because talking openly about mental health reduces stigma and encourage people to seek help. And by raising awareness, we can create more supportive environments for everyone. Mental health challenges are more common than we think. However, stigma often prevents people from seeking help. So by openly discussing mental health, we can create a culture of support and understanding. These are common mental health disorders. I know this list is not encompassing, but we are going to just touch more small on common mental health disorders. And at this point, I need to know that there are a lot of mental health symptoms that are also normal life challenges. So it's okay if someone feels sad, but that doesn't translate to depression. It's okay for someone to feel happy. It doesn't translate to maniac, and it's okay for someone to be anxious about something. It doesn't translate to anxiety disorder. However, when these symptoms become excessive, it becomes a mental health disorder. For example, mental health anxiety disorder is excessive worry and fear that can interfere with daily life. Depression is a persistent feeling of sadness or loss of interest that can affect mood, sleep, and energy levels. And bipolar disorder is just a mixture of being excessively happy, which we refer to as mania, or having excessive energy, and being excessively sad. That's bipolar disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental health condition that is triggered by a terrifying event, either experiencing it or witnessing it. An obsessive compulsive disorder, which I believe that majority of people abuse these days. It is okay to be well arranged. It is a normal thing to be neat. It's a normal thing to want your place clean and proper. But when it's now interfering with uh, your daily life, then it's an obsessive compulsive disorder. And there are different types of this. There are criteria for making this diagnosis, and a medical practitioner, a mental health specialist, or a psychologist will be in the best position to make this diagnosis. And these are just a few examples of common mental disorders. So, for the medical intervention for mental wellness, there is no one size fits all approach to mental health treatment. A doctor or mental health professional can work with you to develop a personalized treatment plan that addresses specific needs. This plan may include the medication therapy, which can be useful or helpful tool for managing symptoms of mental illness. It can be a therapy. There are different forms of therapies that can provide tools and strategies for coping with difficult emotions and improving mental well-being. And there is also the brain stimulation techniques can be used to regulate brain activity and improve symptoms. At the end of this presentation, or towards the end of this presentation, I will also mention lifestyle modification that can help improve mental wellness, that can help with the mental health. So medication, there are different medications. There's antidepressants for people having mood depression, and helps regulate mood by increasing levels of certain neurotransmitters in the brain. There's anti-anxiety medications, there's mood stabilizers. Medication can be very effective treatment for many mental health disorders. Medication can be a helpful tool in managing symptoms and improving your quality of life. There's also what we refer to as therapy, and there are different therapies for different mental health conditions. There's the cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy, I found its use in many conditions. And not only condition, even in the way we think, the way we relate with people, and the knowledge of this cognitive behavioral therapy or using cognitive behavioral therapy can even be useful in things that pertain to relating to people, carrying out tasks, and our professional life. So it helps identify and change negative thought patterns that can contribute to emotional distress. And there's what we refer to as dialectical behavioral therapy. It teaches skills for managing emotions, regulate stress, and improving relationship. There's what we refer to as psychodynamic therapy, which explore the unconscious mind and early life experience to understand how they may be impacting present day thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And with that, we can work on managing mental health distress at that particular time. So there are different brain stimulation techniques for mental wellness. So there's what we refer to as electroconvulsive therapy. Another one is transcranial magnetic stimulation. There's deep brain stimulation. These are done by the psychiatrist to treat severe form of mental illness, depression, or other mental conditions. So this week, we're talking about the mental health awareness, and we're talking about the power of movement for mental health. Apart from people having mental health challenges, this is also good for everybody because physical activity is a powerful tool for boosting mood. Exercise releases endorphins, which have mood elevating effects, and movement can help reduce stress and anxiety. Physical activity can improve sleep quality, which is linked to better mental health, and exercise can boost self-esteem and confidence. I know Mayo is going to talk more about how we can incorporate movement into our daily activities. Gym is good, but for people that can't hit the gym, there are other movement that we can do even in our personal space that can improve our mood. And there has been a lot of research concerning movement and improving mental wellness. As movement can improve your physical health, it can also improve mental wellness. So it's a two-way thing. It can help with physical health, the cardiovascular, the endocrine, people with other medical conditions, and even with mental health. So it's very important we talk about this movement and exercise. So lastly, I'm going to be talking about the lifestyle changes for mental wellness. Now, the world is going towards preventive medicine, how lifestyle changes can have impact on our health and how it can improve our well-being and prevent illnesses. Like I said, exercise is one crucial part of lifestyle changes. So regular physical activity can improve mood, reduce stress, and boost self-esteem. Secondly, nutrition. Eating a balanced diet can provide the nutrients your brain needs to function optimally. Sleep hygiene. Getting enough quality sleep is essential for our mental health and physical health. Adults should get an average of 7 hours of sleep. But I know with the way the world is moving these days and the fast pace of world, majority of people want to get things done. So the sleep pattern is really getting deprived. And sleep is one way that we can boost our mental health. In short, it is a way your brain repairs stress. It is a way your brain relaxes. So sleep hygiene is very important. So also exercise and nutrition. And there are different stress management techniques like yoga or meditation, deep breathing can help reduce stress and overall mental well-being. So in conclusion, mental health is an important part of overall health. Lifestyle changes play a major role in mental wellness, and there is no shame in seeking help for mental health challenges. With the right treatment and support, you can manage your mental health and live a fulfilling life. And at this point, I need to mention that if you are close to anyone, or you know someone, or if you are struggling with your mental health, please know that you are not alone and there is help available and you deserve to feel better. There are many resources available to support people with mental health challenges. There are informations online in the clinics and that can help, and talking to doctors or mental health professionals. And we need to remember that taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your physical health. Thank you for joining me. So at this point, if there's any question, I would like to take.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Tomina, for that very sharp presentation. So we'll take all the questions at the end of the presentation, so they can just take note of them or drop them at the comments section. Thank you very much for a brilliant presentation. So we'll hand over. Can you stop presenting so that Mr. Mayo can put up his slide? Yes. You're welcome, Mr. Mayo.
Thank you very much for having me. Let me just share my screen quickly.
Yeah.
Can we all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
All right, perfect. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome. And once again, thank you, Dr. Tomiwa, for that very enlightening and even though brief, enlightening presentation there on mental health. Just as Dr. Tomiwa said, mental health wellness or mental wellness is not just the absence of mental illness. And that was a very powerful statement there, because it's a very broad and wholesome topic. And that's why we can't talk about mental health or mental wellness without talking about the physical approach as well as the medical approaches. And my name is Mayo Okunu. I am known as the Minister of Fitness, and I am the CEO of Royal Fitness Studios. So I'm just going to start with some little statistics. So researchers have found that on average, a person has 3.5 days of poor mental health per month. But among those who exercise, the number of poor mental health days has dropped by more than 40%. So that's a very big number there. Even though the number of poor mental health days is a big number, I think 3.5 days of a month it might seem small to some people, but generally we shouldn't actually be having any days where we're suffering at all. So the 3.5 days a month is a big number to me. But what's even bigger and what's even more exciting is that people who exercise have shown that they have 40% less of these 3.5 days. So they're pretty much working on 1.5 days of poor mental health in a month. So I think anybody hearing that can see the importance of physical wellness towards mental health as well. All right, so like I said in the beginning, we cannot talk about mental wellness without talking about the physical approach of fitness in relation to mental health. It plays such a crucial role in promoting good mental health. As Dr. Tomiwa also said, exercise releases endorphins, the chemicals in the body, and these chemicals reduce stress, they give you an elated feeling, they improve your mood, and all this contributes to an overall well-being and happiness. Because that's what we're all striving for, I believe, So even if you have wealth, and they say health is wealth. So even if you have wealth, you have a lot of money, you want to at least be, you want to have the mental stability or the mental fortitude to be able to enjoy that wealth. You want to be happy as well with all this. I think that's all of us are striving for, really, in amongst all the different attributes of wealth. Happiness, I think, is the priority for most of us. And so yes, so happiness is a very big factor in a big indicator in mental well-being, mental health, or mental wellness, let me say. So pushing on with the connection between fitness and mental health. So the problem that most of us have felt that over my career as a fitness instructor, personal trainer, as an owner of fitness facilities, I've interacted and trained over 10,000 people. And the one thing that I can say that is the most difficult for people is becoming consistent with exercise. And I always say this to my clients, especially in recent times, is you want to think about physical fitness not as a chore or something that you're being begged to do, but think of it as a lifestyle change, as Dr. Tomiwa mentioned, lifestyle change, and something that you just do on a daily, regular. The way you don't think about brushing your teeth as a chore, it's just something you're going to do. And most of us do brush our teeth twice a day. So all we're asking for here is a mind shift where you're thinking of fitness or physical fitness as something that you just incorporate into your life daily, not as a chore, not something that you're suffering, but something that you have to do to just keep your body right. The way we brush our teeth every day, the same way we should exercise or at least move every day. So over the recent times in my career, what I've tried to do for people is to deconstruct, defragment the sense of fitness. Because a lot of people complicate it. There's a lot of information out now that complicates it for people, and people think of it as expensive. Dr. Tomiwa also mentioned this, that you don't necessarily have to go to the gym to remain fit. Some people can afford it. Some people don't have the space or the time to create to physically go to one. But there's never been a better time for fitness than now. Just as little as 10 years ago, there were very, very few fitness facilities in Nigeria, in Abuja. Let's talk about Abuja now. Very, very few fitness facilities. But as it is now, almost every estate has a local gym. Every prominent area of the city, even rural areas of Abuja and many states have the gym. There is the online presence of fitness programs as well. A lot of them are even free. So there's tons of opportunity and tons of ways for you to get involved without breaking the bank or without having to, overly inconvenience yourself. So if you put all those factors together, it becomes much easier for you to think about incorporating fitness into your daily routine and achieving that consistency, which is the most elusive part of this entire process. If you can make it consistent, if you can simplify the entire process, you don't have to go in and do what everybody does or what you see on Instagram and everybody doing, really crazy, intense workouts. Just something as simple as 30 minutes, even if it's just jump rope. There have been a lot of studies showing the importance of jumping. Now, as we get older, as we become adults, we do a lot less jumping. As kids, we like to climb, we like to jump, if we can find a way to mimic the things that we did as children, we will find that you end up in a much better physical state as an adult, and in a much more simplified way as well. So just play. That's why I tell people, just play. The thing that you did as kids, running, most of us don't have the opportunity to run outside now on the streets or go play sports. But these are really simple ways and effective ways to make fitness a consistent part of your daily life. So like I said, maintaining a regular fitness routine not only improves physical health, but also has a significant impact on mental well-being. Exercise releases endorphins, reduces stress, and boosts self-esteem. This self-esteem part is probably one of the most underrated byproducts of being physically fit. When your confidence level goes up, it changes everything, even your posture, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you think, the way you work, the way you are as a family person, whether you're the husband, you're the wife, you're the of the child, whatever your position is in the family, whatever your position is in the workplace, that that boost in self-esteem goes a long way in positive attributes in all your different spaces in the world. This is a quote here. We don't know who exactly said this quote, but I love this quote so much. Exercise is medicine for the body and therapy for the mind. I'll say that again, so it hits. Exercise is medicine for the body and therapy for the mind. So the topic for this conversation today, this is Mental Health Awareness Week, and the topic is for your mental, your mind, and we're talking about something physical here and how it relates to something on the abstract, something on the mental level. So exercise is medicine, and we're talking about the medical approaches. So people think of it as two different things, but really they're all under one package. People think about the medical approach and the physical approach as two separate entities, but they're not. They're all embodied in the wholesome approach towards being fit, being well, and being at your optimum state. So exercise is medicine for the body and therapy for the mind. So as well as the physical exercise fixes and strengthens you physically, it also fixes and strengthens you mentally as well. Here is another statistic here that is quite frightening, in my opinion. Less than 5% of adults participate in 30 minutes of physical activity each day. Less than 5%. And like Dr. Otamowa said, the world has changed. Everything is so fast. Everyone is so busy, and we have a myriad of distractions around us. And unfortunately, we are the collateral damage. Our bodies are the collateral damage. Our minds are the collateral damage. And because, like you see in this statistic here, less than 5% of adults participate in 30 minutes of physical activity each day. And only 1 in 3 adults receive the recommended amount of physical activity each week. These are some very, very low numbers. And that's why I'm so gracious to webinars like these that helps to make people aware of the things that we're lacking in, and also make people aware of the things that are available to us. Because sometimes our worry is that we do not have help available to us. Like Dr. Otamowa said in his closing statement, if you or anybody who is suffering from mental health issues, there is help. You're not alone, one, and there is help available. And so this statistics puts everybody in one place and realize that many people are in the same state that you are in. If you're someone who does not participate in physical activity, you are not alone. And there are also a bunch of people who are taking part in physical activity are also very welcome to having you join the community of people who keep fit on a daily basis. So I'll finish this statistic. Less than 5% of adults participate in 30 minutes of physical activity each day. Only 1 in 3 adults receive the recommended amount of physical activity each week. And only 35 to 44% of adults 75 years or older are physically active. And 28 to 34% of adults aged 65 to 74 are physically active. So this is a little bit of information that you might not know, but quite some years ago, probably just under 20 years ago, I used to work in a nursing home for the elderly, and I worked there for 3 years. And our nursing home was divided into 3 categories. We had the ground floor, we had the top floor, and we had the wing. So the ground floor was all our people who were just in the average profile for being able to take care of themselves. They're okay because a lot of them can stand. The cognition is kind of okay. We on the top floor, that's where we kept the people who needed the most help, had the most dependency. And then the wing, that's where the people with the most agility and best cognitive power stayed. And what I noticed between the differences in all the different places was the amount of physical activity that each of these places did. The wing had the most amount of physical activity and the most amount of cognitive powers, because we played a lot of games with them, and they loved interacting with us based on those games. In fact, they loved to beat us, the younger people, in a lot of these brain games and to show us that they still had it. While on the top floor, most of them had to be moved in wheelchairs, had to be hoisted out of beds. So it was very interesting, and very early on, I got to see just the importance of movement and physical activity in relation to mental stability and mental wellness as well. So this is just some statistics there to show just how little of us actually participate in 30 minutes of physical activity in each day. All right, so this is an American statistic. I try to find something for Nigeria, but a lot of times it's kind of hard to get proper, accurate statistics on the Nigerian population. But I would hazard a guess to say that we are probably close to this, or if not worse than this, and we're just under-documented. Well, more than 1 in 5 US adults live with a mental illness. Because there's a lot of stigma around mental illness. There's a lot of people who do not understand fully what mental illness is, or even understand what mental wellness is. Like Dr. Tomiwa said in the opening statement, that mental wellness is not just the absence of mental illness. There are so many categories and so many different ways a person can exhibit mental illness in varying degrees of severity. But I'll go with this again. More than 1 in 5 US adults live with a mental illness. That's a very scary number. Over 1 in 5 youth that's aged 13 to 18, either currently or at some point during their life, have had a seriously debilitating mental illness. About 1 in 25 US adults lives with a serious mental illness, such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or major depression. This word depression is something that's coming up a lot more. It's become much more prevalent even in our space here in Nigeria and in Africa. And I'm thankful that there's a lot of help coming up now. There are definitely therapists available around that I know. I know people who are currently in therapy. I know people who have passed through therapy. And I definitely know people who are in need of some therapy. A lot of us don't like to admit to it, but there are plenty of us walking around that are in need of some form of therapy or some form of help for our mental wellness. But this statistic here is just to, illuminate just how many people are struggling out there. So I'm going to talk about 10 benefits of exercise to mental health. So 1, you do get a better night's sleep. Because if you can physically exhaust, I will explain every one of them, to some degree. So if you can exhaust yourself physically, it's easier for you to shut down. In the dawn that we are in now with technology and everything that's around us, we have a lot of distractions. It's become much more difficult to put ourselves to sleep. There's a lot of, mobile devices, the internet, just all the electronic devices with the little lights on. You'd be surprised how much of a negative effect a tiny standby light or power light on your television or your laptop or your watch can do to affect your sleep negatively. So a better night's sleep is one of the benefits you get from exercise. The second thing is it sharpens your thinking. So like I talked about earlier in the nursing home, people who moved a lot more, who took part in physical activity had better cognition. They spoke better, they remembered more, their memory seemed to be a lot better. So it sharpens your thinking. You see a lot of new age tech CEOs all do not play with their physical exercise. You see them making it a part of their thing now. Gone are the days where a big protruding pot belly was a sign of good living. There's still places in Nigeria where that's still the case, and that's still the mentality. But globally, you need the whole package. You'd be doing well in your business or your profession, and you must also be doing well for your body, taking care of your body. We want to see you in good shape. They found a way to put all of that together. Yes, you're chasing the money, chasing the bag, as people say, but you're also chasing the six-pack as well. And all those things, the byproduct of that is your mental stability or better mental wellness. Third thing, improves energy levels. So like I said, a lot of people come and do their workout first thing in the morning before going to work, and they find that you would think it would be the opposite. You would think, oh, after exercising, you'd be tired and you'd be lethargic all day. Sometimes you can push yourself a bit too much, and that can be the case, in case that's one of the questions that comes later. But generally, when you exercise in the morning, all the necessary chemicals that get released, the endorphins, all those things, it puts you on a high, you know, and it gives you a good boost for the rest of your day, energy levels for the rest of the day. It reduces your risk of physical health issues as well, because your body was created to be able to handle this kind of situations. In fact, when you don't, it's one of the major characteristics of a living thing is movement. So when you're not moving, that's when things are decaying, things start to atrophy. So your joints, your ligaments, your tendons, your muscles, all those things deplete greatly when you don't put your body under any kind of physical stress. You see astronauts when they go up in space and they're there for quite a long time, there are things they have to do to maintain their bone density, because they come back, and because of the lack of the gravity pull, a lot of their muscles start to atrophy and their bones start to lose density, and they come back quite a lot physically weaker than they left. 5, improves your confidence. We spoke about this earlier briefly, how exercise definitely improves your confidence when you start to see your body change for the better. You put yourself through doing hard things. It gives you a sense of accomplishment, and it definitely helps with your self-esteem, your confidence. It's a mood booster. All these things work together. Your energy levels are high, your confidence is high, so your mood tends to be better as well. It's good stress release. We have a lot of people who come into, Body Rocks, and they get their workout, and you can tell they're dealing with something. Maybe it was a boss of theirs that annoyed them during the day. Maybe it's a deal they didn't get, some money issues. Maybe they were even annoyed from home, a domestic issue, and they get to release all that stress and pour all that negative energy into the workout, and they leave on a positive. So that's one of the major benefits of exercise to mental health. 8, increases your memory. So like I said, cognition improves, so people tend to retain more memory-wise when they exercise. Relieves anxiety, that's a huge one. And 10, reduces social isolation. That's actually one of the biggest drivers of the fitness industry now. If you don't know, now you know, is the social aspect of it. There are a lot of people who go there because that's the opportunity to meet other people other than their family, other than their work colleagues, get to socialize, get to meet other people who have the same goals as them, people who have the same worries as them, people with the same origin as them, all those kind of things. And that socialization is definitely very, very impactful, positively impactful part of mental wellness. One of the things that kills people off early in life is when they're isolated. No man was created to be an island. When you're isolated, and one of the things one of the ways this leads to isolation and to death, early death, is once you're no longer physically able, because you have not maintained a good physical activity level your whole life. Once you're a bit older and you're no longer physically able, maybe you're now wheelchair bound, you're now bedridden, it limits the amount of social interactions you can have. Maybe you're now being put in a nursing home. Your family members can no longer come to visit you as much, or you don't get to see them as much. All those things start to really, really weigh in on you, and it, like I said, it can lead to early death. So is a huge one there, reducing social isolation. All right, so I'm just going to quickly say a few things that you can do to make sure that you have a good holistic approach towards your fitness and mental health. Just do a quick workout, simple workout. You can even get them on my Instagram page. You can follow me on Instagram, follow Body Rocks on Instagram, follow EHA Clinics. You get to see some of the things that we do in there as a quick workout. It's all free. It's easy. If you want to spend money and get something a bit more specific and deliberate for yourself, that's also there for you. But don't let days go by without consciously doing something very quick and simple for yourself. 20, 30 minutes a day is fine. Even just as simple as a brisk walk around your estate. If you live in a safe enough environment, go for a walk around your area. If you live in a block of apartments, a block of flats, use this to go up and down the stairs several times and get in some early steps in the day or in the evening before you go to bed. Whatever it takes, just do something quick and simple for yourself every day. Mindfulness, meditation exercises, yoga. Dr. Tomiwa mentioned this briefly as well. There are things you can do. A lot of places available that do yoga sessions. You can do that. If you don't want anything intense or anything overly impactful on your joints, you can definitely engage in yoga participation and mindfulness meditation exercises as well. Then outdoor activities are really, really good. If you don't want to confine yourself to the limits of a gym or to lifting weights, go do something recreational. Play football with your friends. Go play table tennis. Go play lawn tennis, normal tennis. Go swimming. Go dancing. All those things count, and they really, really do help. And they help you to engage and interact with other people, boosting on your social interaction as well. I'll just leave this with a couple of things. So try to do hard things daily to curb anxiety. It's a known fact now that doing hard things daily can help curb anxiety. Because once you've done a difficult thing in your day, the things that seemed difficult before, like decisions to make, all those things tend to come in much easier to you after doing something consciously difficult yourself early in the day. And the lack of movement, in my personal opinion, is the cause of many issues that we face today, both mentally and physically. And I also just drop this as a last statement that there's research done in the University of, I think, South Wales or South Australia that showed that exercise has been proven to be 1.5 times more effective in mental wellness than therapy or medication. And this is not to dismiss or disprove the importance of the medical approach or the use of pharmaceuticals, but there is a cheaper, easier, much less invasive way to improve your mental wellness, and that's in the form of exercise. And this is proven studies out there. You can go check it out somewhere. And with that, I say thank you. I am the Minister of Fitness, and remember, your fitness is my business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mr. Mayowa, for that very expository session, very comprehensive too. I heard just play or just the play. Right. So we will quickly consider some questions. I think there are very few on the Zoom area, but I think on the WhatsApp, on the YouTube, we have someone saying, I have someone who is having mental challenge by hearing some spirits speaking to him as a result of fighting people around him. How can this situation be dealt with? Is this under the purview of what we're looking at today? Dr. Mayo, Dr. Tomiwa?
Yeah, sorry, please, can you repeat that question?
I have someone who is having mental challenge by hearing some spirits speaking to him as a result of fighting people.
So,
this situation.
so can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, it's good if this person can be taken to a mental health facility or a clinic so that he or she can be properly attended to, because from this little information, this person is not only dangerous to self but dangerous to others, because this person is attacking people around him. So it's very, very good if the person can be taken to a mental health facility. I hope that answers the question.
All right, thank you. So I think this will go to Minister of Fitness. Is it hi, Coach? Please, I'm having a chronic waist pain. What should I do to reduce and stop this pain, please?
Okay, yeah. So to the person with the chronic waist pain. So the waist pain, we have to first find out what was causing the pain. It could be that you are actually a bit overweight. I'm not sure. You might have a job that requires you to sit down for quite a long periods of time. Maybe you drive a lot, or you sit in an office for long hours without standing up. It could just be due to poor mobility. You're just not stretching enough. You're not getting to be upright enough, or your chair could be a funny position. All these things matter. Your chair positioning in your seat positioning in your car, your seat positioning in your office, even the kind of sofa you have at home. It could just be due to you being in a bad position for a long time, or you have a job that requires you to be seated for quite some time. Those are the things that can cause waist pain sometimes, or just being a little bit overweight, actually. So sometimes we see some of our clients, once they just drop a few kilograms, they're good to go. After that, the pain is gone. So we have to first figure out what it is that's causing your waist pain, and then before we can know just how to address it. But those are some of the common causes of waist pain. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Mayor. So somebody said, so how do I know if I have a need for mental check? I'm not perceiving any symptoms, so how do I know?
Dr. Moore, want to take this? Yeah, okay.
Okay, great, thank you. So when I started this, when we started this conversation, we mentioned that mental wellness is not just about having mental health challenges. So it's okay to do things to protect your mental health. However, if an individual is having symptoms that is persistent, for example, a sadness that doesn't have a clear cause, or is becoming more than usual, that is affecting other activities of the day, then the person can come in for a mental health check. But overall, mental wellness is beyond having mental health challenges. Just keep your mental health good, and if you need to speak to someone, maybe you're having challenges, depressed, you can always come to the clinic, and someone is going to assess you. That's fine.
Okay, yeah, I think it's good to mention that at EJ clinics, we run this as part of the assessments when you come in to see a doctor. So someone said, Hania Bakari said, thank you for your detailed presentation. For Mr. Mayor, does exercise fall under doing hard things? And then for Dr. Tomiwa, can a patient suggest the brain stimulation techniques to their psychiatrists?
Okay. I think I'll go first. So yes, doing hard exercise does fall under doing hard things. Something that you find challenging physically is a really good way of battling anxiety. And exercise is definitely one of those things. People tend to find that difficult. We try to push people to not think of exercise as a chore, but at the same time so a hard thing can be anything. It could be choosing to use cold water to shower on a rainy morning. That's a hard thing, So it could be anything, but exercise definitely falls under doing hard things as well.
Yeah, thank you, Maiwa. And so for Dr. Tomiwa, can a patient suggest brain stimulation techniques to their psychiatrist?
Okay, the straight answer is no. Yeah, the brain stimulation techniques are reserved for resistant medical condition, mental health conditions. So that's why we talk more about lifestyles changes, this physical movement, this physical exercise, this sleep and nutrition. So you as a patient cannot suggest what's it called, brain stimulation for your doctor. But your doctor knows best, and we offer these services in EHA clinics. A psychologist and a psychiatrist who can assess you and give you the best form of management.
Okay, thank you for that. So there's one more. I think we still have a little more time for questions. They say, please, what home exercise is suitable for people who sit for too long? think a lot of us are beginning to get.
Okay. Okay, great. I just answered that in the chat but I'll also say it now. So it's very simple. Like I said, one of the things you can do is track your steps. So there's smartwatches available now, even your phones. Do that. You can give yourself a daily target. Most people do between 6,000 and 10,000 as their target. Doesn't matter where you're starting from, even if you're 2,000 to start. Just keep working on improving that and building that up. Or you could just go as far as maybe you could buy a set of skipping ropes. A lot of us haven't skipped since we were in primary school or secondary school. That's a really good way to get you, bouncing on your feet. Gets really great for your calves, for your legs, your hand-eye coordination, your hand-foot coordination. It's a really good one. You get to burn a lot of calories doing that too. So jump rope, skipping, it's a very simple one you can do. You don't require space. It's light. You can carry it anywhere you want. If you travel, you take it with you in your bag. It's not a problem. So I like jump rope a lot. I like skipping. The idea of skipping is very good.
Okay, yes, I think those are very practical steps that can be applied. Okay, so I think there's one more as we begin to round up. Okay, well, I think this is obvious. Are there cures for mental health problems? Can you prevent, maybe we'll take those two together. Can you prevent mental health problems?
Okay, can I talk now?
Yes, please.
Yes, I would say there are cures for mental health challenges, and it's sad that people don't know about the provision for managing mental health challenges, and it's everywhere. In AHA clinics, we have people can get mental health help in AHA clinics. So there's cure for mental health challenges. There's cure for mental health illness. It can be properly managed. It can be properly managed. And what is it? The second question is, I'm sorry, can you remind me?
It says, what do can you prevent mental health problems? So the first is if it cures, the second is if it can be prevented.
Yes, mental health challenges can be prevented. Can be prevented. However, there are other aspects contributing to mental health. In mental health space, we talk about the psychological aspect, the social aspect, and the biological aspect of mental health. So, but these things can be prevented. We've mentioned this thing about movement, we've mentioned exercise, we've mentioned what's it called? Nutrition, we've mentioned sleep. These things are good prevention for mental health challenges. And I also saw one question that I would like to quickly answer. Can someone preference for melancholic genre of music, melancholic arts once in a while, being an indication of a mental health challenge? Now, it's very important not to confuse personality and mental health challenges. We have different personalities. So personality disorders is a different topic on its own. So if you have a preference for a particular type of music, that should not be interpreted as a mental health challenges. So for some people, they just like to be in not so noisy place, and for some people, it's that noisy place that they really want. So that is not a mental health challenges. Do you understand? So that's just the summary of it. Thank you.
Okay, I guess there are no more questions, and we're right on time. So I want to say thank you for giving us this wonderful sessions, Dr. Tomiwa, and the Minister of Fitness. I'm sure we have heard a lot of learnings from this space, and like we had said, for those of us who are attending the session, AHA Clinics offers mental health checks each time you come in as a patient to see a doctor, and then advice could be given and treatment preferred for those who need them. And in line and keeping with the theme for the year. Please keep moving, keep involved in one physical activity or the other. Take time to break out from whatever sessions and just maybe take a walk, jump, dance, and like Mio said, just play. Even though as adults we seem to have a tendency to tend towards being more sedentary, but for our mental health, we must consciously, imbibe some physical activity. Mayor said even 30 minutes in the morning could do us a whole lot of good. And then if we see any unusual sadness, then I think it is time to see a doctor. Dr. Tomiwa, you raised a hand. You want to say some final words?
Okay, yes. In addition to that, we are celebrating our mental health week, Mental Health Awareness Week. EHA is organizing a fitness session tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. I would like to invite everyone to come around and join Maya Okwa and his team, join EHA clinics and everyone in the clinic to move your body. This event is going to take place across our locations, Kano, Abuja, Lagos. So 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Tomiwa. Mr. Mayo, any final words too?
No, just I am the Minister of Fitness. Your fitness is my business. Thank you.
All right, thank you all. And this is where we draw the curtain until we come again your way with another exciting topic on the EHA Clinics Academy. From us here, it is bye. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Okay.
Thank you.